In this video, I'm going to share a simple tool with you which helped me make my first million and made the biggest difference when it came to building my personal wealth. You see, I started in business in my early 20s, so this is in the 2000s. And after a rocky couple of years, I pretty quickly started making a significant income. I was making six figures in my 20s, so I was the highest income earner of all my friends, and I felt rich. And, so I started to build a business. I grew out a team. I met a girl. I got married. I bought a house. I started a family. And on paper, I had it all. But there was a problem. The problem was the more money I made, the more expenses I seemed to incur. This was both professionally and personally. So the business, I had to have a bigger team, an office, and infrastructure. The business plateaued. The profits just flatlined. And then personally, it was the same. We had a nice house, then we had a nicer house, and then we had one car, then we had two cars and nice holidays. But the point was I had a nice lifestyle, but I wasn't building any wealth. There was no financial clout behind it. I just couldn't seem to break through. But then it all changed when I discovered this tool. And how it came about was very interesting. By a mutual friend, I was invited over to Spain to meet a very wealthy British expat who'd built and sold a IT business for over £10 million. And I was hoping I'd get some insight to help me grow my business more. But that's not what he said. When I was kind of talking about how to grow, he went, "Dan, you're focused on the wrong thing. That's not your effing problem." I said, "Well, what is it?" He said, "Look, when people start in business, you're always focused on revenue, appropriately, because if you haven't got revenue, you haven't got a business, because you've got a bit wiser." He goes, "It's not about revenue. Turnover is vanity. Profit is sanity." I said, "Yeah, right. I get it. I'm trying to grow profit, though." And he went, "But you're focused on the P&L. You're not focused on the balance sheet." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, listen, like what a balance sheet is." And I said, "Yeah, it's got the kind of three categories. It's your assets, the things and stuff that your business has, and then your liabilities, which is, the debt, the stuff that you owe. And then you've got your equity. They're the three kind of major sections." He went, "Yeah, but I'm not talking about a business balance sheet. I'm talking about your personal balance sheet." I said, "Well, what do you mean a personal balance sheet?" He said, "Look, if you look at like the Sunday Times rich list, the richest people in the UK, when they're talking about people's net worth being billions," he goes, "How do they calculate that?" I said, "I don't know. They look at their companies." He went, "Yeah, but you're feeling broad, Dan. You get what you focus on." He goes, "Their net worth is calculated. What are their assets less their liabilities? That is the definition of how you figure out the equity position on a balance sheet." And he goes, "The equity position on the balance sheet is synonymous with your net worth." He goes, "So what is your personal balance sheet? What personal assets do you own? What personal liabilities do you have? And what you're left with is your personal net worth. You get what you focus on." He went, "So Dan, so rather than you obsessing about growing sales and focusing on sales and number of leads," he goes, "those things are important." He said, "But what I want you to do is have a personal balance sheet." I said, "How do you do it?" He goes, "Don't make it complicated." He goes, "Have a spreadsheet and have a list of your personal assets." He goes, "Right, so what savings do you have? What ISAs do you have? What pensions do you have? What properties do you have? What vehicles do you have? Anything else valuable? You might own companies, like you've got share investments. What are the assets that you've got that have got any meaningful value? Then what of your liabilities do you have? Often they match with the assets. So you've got a house, most people have a mortgage. Okay, if you've got cars, oftentimes people have them on finance. Goes, do you have any personal loans? Do you have any credit card debt? And then assets less liabilities equals your net worth. Okay, and he goes, "All I want you to do is every single month, without fail, update this sheet. So you add another column. So this month, next month, month after, and then time by time, you get to see your personal wealth and how it's tracking." And he said, "You know what? A strange thing will happen. As soon as you start doing this activity consistently, you'll realize you're playing a game with yourself. You're gamifying it." And he goes, "Every single month, the goal is very simple: to make your net worth increase." And how are you going to do that? Well, it's obvious. You're either going to buy some more assets or you're going to get rid of some liabilities. How are you going to do that? The only way that you can do that really sustainably is to have surplus income, i.e. not spend all your income, and then use that to either buy, invest in assets, or pay down debt, reduce liabilities. That's it. And he goes, "I don't care if it goes up by £1 million in a month or it goes up by £1 in a month. The goal is just to constantly improve your personal net worth because you measure it. So he gave me that challenge and I did it, and I've done it every single month since. And that was, well, well over a decade ago. But what happened was fascinating. The first time I did it, it horrified me because the number was frighteningly low. Since I'd had a 6-figure income for most of my 20s, when I first did this, scarily, my net worth was less than £100,000. It was about 70 grand, I think. But what happened when I started doing it every month, it started to increase. And as it increased, it compounded, and then it grew more and more quickly over time, all because it gave it attention. So the exercise, the challenge to you is very simple. Start doing a personal balance sheet. Create a spreadsheet with your assets, your liabilities, and don't overcomplicate it. If it's taking you more than like half an hour, you're taking too long, and then diarize every month just to update your personal balance sheet. And just that one thing alone can make a big difference in building your personal wealth. Listen, if you like this idea, this concept, I believe one of the primary purposes in business is to enrich the shareholders. If you're taking the risk, you deserve the reward. And that's why at my upcoming event, we're focused on building your personal wealth. How do you translate more of your business's revenues into profits and into tax-efficient income to yourself that you can utilize to build your personal wealth, build assets, and make you more financially robust and stable? You want to know more information about it? Look at the link around this video, and I'll see you there.